Hey everybody, Mike Toy here, Bonsai Boise. This is a Ficus Benjamina cutting that I decided to try a root over rock with, and it worked. This is footage I took about 2 days ago. Today I'm going to pot it up into a bonsai pot. Here's a look at it. You see the roots kind of just go right over it. That's just a little plastic rock. That's not an actual real rock. Not that it matters, but just saying. At the time, it was kind of an experiment that went right. I didn't even know if it would work. So let's go back in time and I'll show you the experiment. So I had put a cutting with its roots over that rock and then wrapped it in a plastic baggie. And then I took some wire and wrapped the plastic baggie up with wire to kind of hold it firmly against the rock and the roots. So this is when I first unwrapped it to kind of see how it looked, and I saw that it worked. This is back in January of 24. So it's a little raw and wild looking. There's roots going all over the place, but get it out of there. So it actually worked really well. It's the first successful one of these that I've done. I've tried a root over rock maybe 2 or 3 times in the past and never really got one to work. So it was nice to find a method that did work. I'll point out that I had it in the grow tent all winter, so it's kind of perfect conditions in that grow tent. But yeah, got it to work, so that was nice. So I'm just going to work all the soil away from the roots here and get a look at what we've got. And there it is, after I got it all cleaned up. So lots of healthy roots there. So this was still in the middle of winter, so I didn't want to get too ambitious with it. I just decided to trim it up a little bit, clean it up, and put it back into another training pot with some fresh bonsai soil. So that's what I do here. Trim up the bottom roots. Good healthy amount, really. Then I just get it all potted up into its new pot. Then I make just a little cut off the top, just a little, or a lot. Just kidding, it was a lot. And that's what's left. So, get the soil all worked in, get it ready to just kind of grow, I guess, even at a slow pace for the rest of the winter. Clean up little nubs here and there. There's another look at it there. Then here it is about 4 months later in May of 24. So not a lot really had changed at this point, but it was good to see that, you know, the roots survived being out of the baggie. I guess that's the part I was worried about. But they had hardened off enough to survive. But otherwise it kind of looked basically the same. Still hadn't really made any decisions on what to do with it at that point. And then here it is about 2 months later, July 8th of 24. So it's been outside growing now. And it's starting to wake up a bit and grow out a little more. And then here it is as of now. It had grown out quite a bit. I thought it was time to pot it up into an actual bonsai pot. Not because the tree itself is anything to write home about just yet, but it's unique, you know. It's my first root over rock. It's kind of cool. worth being in a better pot than that. And that's the pot I'm going with, which is a kind of a bright, brilliant red. A little different than what I would normally pick, but I think it would look cool. The contrast between the green and the red is kind of neat, and just being a root over rock kind of look. Just thought it was the right pot for it. I don't put a ton of thought into branch structure at this point. I mean, I put a little thought into it. I always think of it a little. But for the most part, I just try to trim it up. I should say trim it down into shape, just to gear it up for the future. But that's not its main focus. The main focus on this one is really the root over rock, of course. My main concern is that this particular rock is too small. I mean, if you look at how much that root has taken over already in just a few months, probably not going to be long before it completely takes over. So I guess I could just add more rocks below it. I don't know. I don't have a plan for that yet. I guess we'll see how that goes. And for future, and I am going to do more of these in the future, I'm going to pick bigger rocks, I think. So there it is once I got the soil all cleaned off of the roots. There's a few roots there that I'm going to try to position a little bit more so that it's a more even spread around the rock instead of two big fat roots on each side, one on each side. See if I can even it out more. And then maybe I can split one of those roots. Who knows? Think about for a minute, which way do I want it to face? You kind of make an argument that any side could be a front, but I end up going with that. This is my kind of normal soil mix. Perlite, pine bark, pumice, academia, and volcanic rock. I kind of mound it up all around, a little higher than normal. Normally I would kind of level it off a little bit more. But I mound it all around just thinking, because there's exposed roots there. Because I exposed a little more root than there was before in that training pot. You can kind of tell with the color difference there. So because I mounded it up around it, I just spray it really lightly with the mister on a real low setting at first, just to wet all the soil and kind of hold it in place. You can see the soil kind of, I guess I would say, eroding. It'll start to even out over time, I think. Then I turn it to a low shower setting. I'll really give it a good soak in there. I've got this fast forwarded, but I really sort of took my time with this. I think I did a lot of it off camera too. And then there it is. Yeah, I really like that red pot with this look, with this root over rock look and this tree. The bright green leaves and the bright red kind of look cool together. So yeah, this was a fun little project. It's not show worthy or anything like that, but it wasn't meant to be. It was just an experiment that went right, that I'm going to try to keep going. So I'm definitely going to look for some cooler rocks now. That was just a little plastic thing that I found, but I'll look for something else that's a little better, and I'll try more of these. And probably with more species too. So here's a final look at it. Leave me any comments with tips or tricks or experience that you have, or just thoughts on it in general. Please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day.